This improv story is based on the idea. Man drops phone down toilet, story commence. Craig went into the toilet. He was looking at his phone. It's a toilet in a pub. His friends were up at the bar, and he said, "Just have to pop to the toilet." And they said, "Don't you be doing any shites in a toilet?" So he went into. He said, "I'm not doing a shite," but he went into the cubicle to urinate, just to like his own private space. And as he was looking at his phone, just as he was sitting there, it dropped into the toilet. Fortunately, his phone was splashproof, waterproof to thingy standards, IP6, IP. I don't know if that's actually an internet protocol thing. To I thingy, IP, IP freely, and he was able to get his phone quickly out the water. Before he realised what he was doing, he'd actually thrust his hand into the pee water. The water in the pan was full of his pee, and because he hadn't drank any water for quite a while, hadn't hydrated for quite a while, excuse me, that reminds me, his pee was all yellow, and he had a shirt because he was going out smart casual this evening. It was a white shirt, but it was quite a casual one with a blazer and a denim and a loafer. So he did have quite a yellow stain on his cuff there. When he got out, he tried to dry it off there at the hand dryer. No joy. Someone came in and he quickly hid his arm. And he thought, if I'm hiding myself here in the toilet where these things should be safe, what am I going to be out there in the real? What am I going to be like out there in the real world in the actual bar area, especially tonight when I'm trying to pull? So he went out right away. A lady came up to him and said, "Hi there, what's your name?" And he said, I can't talk right now." And she said, "Excuse me, I could be the woman of your dreams." And he said, "I know, I just don't want to talk." And he went to his friends. His friends were saying, "What's got into you?" This is there's a lady that came up to you there and you just brushed her off. He said, "Guys, look." And there was his white cuff that was stained in his pee. This pee had dried in. And they said, what the hell what scrape have you got yourself into this time, Craig? Craig was always getting himself into scrapes. Just as he was about to explain, well, he did start to explain. He said, "I went and put my hand into the toilet pan and it was full of," and he turned around. I said, "Pee." He turned around, there was the lady, and he went, "Please, can I get you a drink to apologise for earlier?" And she said, "Weren't you going to say something else there? Like pee?" He went, "Please believe me when I say I just have this thing with my speech with the letter P." And she said, "You know, I like your style." And she took him back to her home that evening for a bit of hanky-panky. But she said, "I want you to get undressed now. It is time to have sex." And he said, "I'm going to go into the toilet for that." She said, "You're going to do it here. I like to watch. It gets me going." And he said, I get that, but I do actually need to go in to have some privacy, if you don't mind." And she said, "I don't see why you want privacy, considering we're about to have sexual intercourse. I just don't get that. Please forgive me, if I'm speaking out of turn here, but I just don't get that soon, we're possibly, due to writhing about and maybe you stepping out of bed later naked, I'm possibly going to be looking at your bumhole." So what does it matter? This is up to him. Possibly might get a swatch, a glance at your bumhole. So what does it matter? But, there's no privacy here. I don't understand. Again, just let me know for something I've not got here. And he said, you know what? Full disclosure, since we are going to be doing this, full disclosure, um, take a look at this. Tell me what you think this is. And he showed her the sleeve that had been urinated, not onto. The sleeve had actually went into the urine, so it had wasn't urinated on so much. The sleeve went into the urine. It's a funny way of looking at it. And she said, "What's that?" And she gave it a sniff. And she said, "Is this pee?" And he said, "What if it is this transaction over?" And she said, it might well be. He said, "I'm going to take my chances and just tell you, yes, it is urine. Where do we go from here?" She said, "I'm going to have to ask you to leave." He said, "That's absolutely fine. No, I'm going to leave first and then I'm going to ask a question, so let there be no doubt I'm leaving." And then we stepped over the threshold outside. So he had left. He then spoke through the door, her front door, and said, "Can I just have a kind of exit survey type of thing here?" Why was that a problem, considering there is going to be an exchange of bodily fluids here? Urine, there will be some urine in my pee-pee. There will be some pee in my pee-pee. Would there's a wee bit of pee-pee on my sleeve? What difference does it make? She said, "It just shows you're a wee bit not socially... Well, we're not social on the same page. If this goes well, if I enjoy having sexual intercourse with you, might want to see you again, might want to get to know you socially and so on. Might even down the road lead to a family." Obviously, I'm not getting ahead of myself here because it is over, so I don't care what I say here. And if you're going about with pee on your sleeve, it just shows that socially, I don't think we're on the same page here. So it doesn't matter how good the intercourse is. This is up to him. I just don't think this is going to go anywhere. If anything, if that sexual intercourse is good, it's actually going to be more difficult for me mentally and emotionally to let you go. And it's just going to be a confusing time. I'd rather not have it. I'd rather not taste something I can no longer have. Do you understand what I'm saying here? He said, "I get that. That's completely reasonable." Well, I'm sorry to hear that. But I hope to see you in the bar under other circumstances. I understand this is over. She said, "This is over." And that was that. The following week, he was back there with his friends. She wasn't there. The week after that, she was there. And did pass her. He was going to give her a wee, you know, just a wee, as he's walking past her, just a wee, that. He just thought, "No, I'm not even going to do that." I think it's just, she'll end up thinking that, if she does that back, then I'm going to come back when I've had a drink in me and say, "So really, there's no chance of us, just, I don't want to give her the impression that I want to take this further. I want to make sure she's comfortable here in the pub here this evening." And he just left it at that. But let me just say this though. From that point on, the shirts that he bought and wore to that pub, he made sure they were yellow to begin with, so that if he did get on it, it would be unnoticeable by whatever lady friend he happened to be with for the old slap and tickle, how's your father and all that, Bye for now. And that is a true story. How do I know? See Craig? He's one of my best pals. Want me to show you him? Sorry, that's him there. Got mixed up. Oh, sorry. That's him there. That's him there. Final answer. Final answer. That's him there. There he is with his chinos on there. Ready for just dressed in summer clothing. Summer light clothing, summery clothing. Daisy colour scheme. Lovely flowers, aren't they? Look at that. Look at that, would you? Doesn't get better than that. That's a classic. That's a classic. That's like some classic, basic classic pair of Adidas or Nike or something like that. None of the fancy new ones. That's your fucking Adidas Gazelle there or something. Your possible. What would be a classic Nike? No Nike Air Max. What came before Nike Air Max? Your classic Nike. What's a classic? Air Jordans. Before that. You know, cuts were wearing Nike before. You know, something like, you know, one of these sorts of things that's just like so basic. It couldn't be considered in or out. Do you know what I mean? You like him? You know, it appeared basic. Very, very, very basic. Nothing like. Did I have them? I had them. No, I didn't know that there. Nike Air. What was it? I had Nike Air Max. Was it 95? I had them. I think it was 90. 90. I was wearing them about that time. Aye. I think I had them. I had them in a kind of blue, I think. A kind of blue. I had them at the time. At the time. Then this retro. At the time. The one they called Nike Air Max 90. They're called Nike Air Max because it was 90.